Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I appreciate all the feedback that I got from my previous video about the 2-meter amateur radio band. A lot of good comments. If you haven't read the comments, go back to that video and look at the comments. A lot of interesting information. And basically the gist of it was I didn't do a good sample of listening to what might be on 2 meters in my area. Number one, it was a weekday. Number two, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I chose that mainly because that's when I was available to do the show. And number two, that's when I used to listen to 2 meters 20 years ago. I would listen to people talking as they were driving to work or whatever the commute they had early in the morning. And it was pretty active. So anyway, people mentioned that different times of the day, and they mentioned that there are a bunch of repeaters out there still. And I'm like, I didn't think about that. So I went on the internet. I found this this website location that I've used in the past, which is the amateur radio, ham radio repeaters by state. And it gives you a map. And then you can select up at the top here the state, and then you can select which band. Now these are repeaters for 6 meters and above. And what we were talking about is 2 meters. Also, another popular one is 70 centimeters. So here's Florida. I chose Florida. Let me zoom in, and you can see it is packed full of repeaters. Oh my gosh. So we come down here to where zoom is. We'll zoom in. And I think I can use, okay, let me back up here. So look at Florida. Look, I mean, does it tell me up here? I'm trying to see if it told me the number. It found 813 repeaters just in Florida. And if we, like I say, if we zoom in here, let's go try to zoom in where I live, down here in the Tampa Bay area. So they're in the Tampa Bay area of a distance that I could easily hit with my radio, which would probably Palm Harbor over to Tampa, probably in this area right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 repeaters that I should be able to make contact with. So then what you do is once you zoom in, and let me pick one. I know when I was talking about clubs and stuff like that, the Clearwater, where I live, club is quite small. I haven't been to a meeting in a couple years, but I went to a meeting a couple years ago and did a presentation on YouTube. And there were only, of course, maybe it was my presentation, but there were only like 6 people that showed up. I went another time with a friend who wanted to find out about the club, and there were maybe 8 or 9 people there. So not very active, at least people that show up in the club. But the club down in St. Pete, and I think it's this repeater, maybe a couple of these repeaters, are very active. They have a ham fest twice a year, and even though it's in a small park, the park is packed with people either from the club or other people that want to buy and sell stuff. So let's click on their repeater. I think this is their repeater. And look at all the frequencies you can work on this one repeater. And I think the list even goes, yeah, look at this. Holy cow. There must be 20 frequencies you can work. And I say, I think this is one repeater. Maybe not. Maybe it's more than one. But you can work all these frequencies. Like, for instance, 145.290. And so just repeaters alone, there's a ton. Just like I think 741 pointed out up in Massachusetts, they have, I don't remember if he said daily or weekly nets on their local repeater. So, yes, 2 meters is, as far as looking at the number of repeaters, is active. And they wouldn't have the repeaters up if nobody used them. So this is one place you can look. You can pick your state. And matter of fact, I'll pick 741 Rob State, which is Massachusetts. And do a submit here. You have to do a submit each time. And he's got 164 in Massachusetts alone. Now we had 813 in our state. Wow, I don't know if that's normal. Let's see, I'm trying to think of another state that might be. Texas maybe might be pretty populated. Let's try Texas. Just for grins, I mean, I'm not trying to compare. Just saying for grins. Okay, update. I did a submit. There we go. 1,090. I knew it would be a lot. So they got us beat. Look at all these repeaters. So anyway, you can go to this website. I'll put the link in the description because it's kind of a funky link. And you can look up repeaters. You can listen to those repeaters to see if there's any activity. If you have your license, you can call and see if somebody will talk to you and possibly find out about a club in that area. Like I say, the club in St. Petersburg, for instance, is very active. I don't know how many members they've got, but I know when they have those Hamfest, there's, I don't know, 20 or 30 people that are just there from the club working the Hamfest, selling hot dogs and stuff like that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of correct myself about activities on 2 meters. And this is also presently showing 70 centimeter repeaters also. I left that. So you can select these. Now I remember back when, this was a couple years ago, when I was thinking about see if I could make some long distance contacts of 6 centimeters. I looked at this website and clicked on 6 meters to see what 6 meter repeaters are. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now, just for the heck of it. Turn these off, go back to my state, and see how many are in Florida. In that way, because I really wanted to work simplex, in other words, station to station, not going through a repeater. Now, of course, you don't know what a repeater is. It's just as the word implies, it repeats your signal. So, for instance, I could tune my radio to the frequency shown on that St. Pete repeater, one of those, and then I could transmit to that, which is probably 15 miles from me, and then I would be using their tower and their amplifier to repeat out my signal to the world. So then I could get a lot bigger coverage. So that's what a repeater is all about. I'm sure all of you knew that, but there's a few that are new. So this is just the 6 meter repeaters, and we have 2 in my area. Let's see what we got here. We got one in, not very close. One in Tampa. I could probably reach that one. And one up here in Newport Richey. So I could probably reach those with my, I have the ICOM 706 radio, and I do actually have a 6 meter beam antenna, but it's on the ground. And it's been on the ground for 20 years. That's anyway, let's move on. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Again, thanks. That's one of the reasons I do these shows. I like your feedback. I like other people's inputs. I'm no expert. No way am I no expert. So I am so thankful for all those comments. Please leave comments, because the comments go to everybody. So please do that. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.